Yeah. Let me go pee really quick before we start.
All right.
All right.
Now, Sin went to the restroom. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Guardian Hub podcast.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Sin, where we talk Destiny and our experiences in the game. And what else do we do, Sin?
We play video games.
We play video games, and we talk about it. I'm Kingsley Mack, and that other voice that interrupted me is the lovely Sin. How are you doing tonight, Sin?
A little crispy, but other than that, pretty darn good.
Did you cook yourself, or did you just cook the food like you were supposed to?
Well, the fam and I went out to kind of like it's a park that has a waterfall and like a little beach. And of course, myself being the normal guy that I am, did no sunblock. So, yeah, I'm a little red from that. But I did all the cooking tonight for the dinner. We had steak, crab cakes, sausage, corn, wings. It was awesome.
It's making me hungry.
You're welcome.
Maybe I'll eat afterwards, but we have a podcast to do, and we have a lovely guest with us tonight. You want to introduce our guest, Sin?
Go for it.
Me? All right. Well, we have Chris 3711, but we know him as Chris, and Chris is the ambassador and community leader for the Project Guardian group. Chris, how you doing?
I'm excellent. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I wish I had a nice dinner story, but I don't. I just had a plain old cheeseburger. But
cheeseburgers are still good too.
Nothing exciting. It's just been too hot. We just haven't really been wanting to do anything. So
yeah, I know. It's like you want to go out inside and grill or do fun things, but at some point it's like too hot to even make the effort.
Yeah. My son's having his second graduation party at his mother's house today, so they have like 100 people over there, so we just went for like an hour, and I'm like, it's just too hot. Plus, we had to get back to take care of our new puppy, so all that good stuff. But it's nice to have the boy out of high school.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And do you have other kids you're bringing up, or is that kind of it?
No, one and done.
Nice.
Too much overhead, you know?
Yeah.
Could keep the cost down.
That makes it easier, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially, how many do you have? Just, you said one?
One, yeah.
Yeah.
Try 3.
I know.
I'm 3 deep.
I can't even imagine. Because now we're looking at college and, all this stuff. And he's not driving yet, which in a sense is very lucky. So I don't have to worry about insurances and cars and all that. But
yeah. Oh, my daughter just got her driver's permit, so getting close to figuring out insurance next year because she's pretty responsible and already getting jobs and stuff. So hopefully we won't have to worry about it too much. But we'll have to worry about it somewhat, making sure she's doing the right thing and
right. Yeah, I mean, he works. He's great with money and all that. He's just not ready to drive. And I'm like, man, take your time. Like, don't push yourself. So, because he's got a few things going on or whatever, but he's a great kid. And I'm going to sound like the overprotective dad, but I don't even want him to drive. I'm like, I'll never sleep again. You know what I mean? It's like, I already worry, but eventually it's going to happen. But
yeah, that makes sense. Well, Chris, we're happy to have you here tonight. Can you tell us some about Project Guardians and everything for the listeners that are not aware yet of what that is?
Absolutely. So it's an organization that the original founders were Average Joe, Sentinel Dad, Hatchy Dave, and Dr. Goku. who's a psychiatrist. And then they brought me in. I think they had been going for a little bit, for a couple months or something like that. But it's an organization. It's just a group of regular people who our focus is mental health awareness. We kind of take like a psychoeducational approach to it. So by that, I mean, we offer support by giving people resources, kind of just trying to teach them different aspects of, mental health and that sort of thing. We have a full team of professionals. Like I said, Goku's a psychiatrist. We have Bailey, who's a social worker, and she's amazing. And Psycho Raven, he is a RN. And then, like me, I'm more just peer support and kind of life experience. I've always suffered from anxiety, been through some bigger tragedies, and I tend to be a little bit older than the majority of our community. But also my son suffers from extreme anxiety and depression and some OCD. So, I've really dived into his group therapies and just learning with him together. We kind of learned together the past several years. And, all of us, we're just, peer support. So,
yeah, that's an impressive list of all the resources that you've mentioned so far. And, you have like a great website and you have a Discord group and.
Yeah. So the Discord is really, like, for me, is kind of what makes us stand out a little bit, because it really makes us, gives us that connection to the community, which that's what I'm all about. Like, anybody knows me, I'll never not say enough good things. Everybody who's in our server, I tell them every day they're my inspiration. I love each and every one of them. It means a lot to me. But I think that's really like one of our biggest standpoints, and that's how we get most of our information out there. So people find the project, they come into the server and can tag myself or an admin or mental health professional, and somebody will talk to them and kind of get an idea of what's going on. And from there, offer the resources, give them links or whatever information they need. But then also, they're welcome to stay and hang out and just be part of the group. And we have some really amazing members that really are just super supportive. Come on every day, say good morning, offer people support. You can get opinions from other peers. It's just a really good system, and it works really, really well. So, and the website's amazing. Joe designed all that. He did all that himself, and he did an amazing job. So, and that's loaded with resources, like an app to find a professional in your area, all the show notes from the podcast, like the character analysis that Dr. Goku does every week, which is really cool. Everyone loves that section of the podcast. So a lot of cool things. Yep.
I want to talk about the podcast in a second too, but yeah, I can't stress enough, like what you said, how Discord is such a good resource, because back in the day, there was on the internet, there was maybe message forums, but that isn't instant communication, or websites that someone could search for if they were just curious or needed help with something. But today, having a Discord, it could really help someone out who A, needs some immediate help, or B, is too shy to call someone for help, where they could just talk to someone and quote in person and get the help that they need at first. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, it's a game changer. We can jump into voice chat if we have to. We have channels set up that are private, have privacy settings, so that, as they type, anybody else that comes in, it automatically wipes any history that's not appropriate to them. It's really cool. Discord does so many amazing things that I haven't figured it all out. Joe and Sentinel are definitely much better at it than me. But, it's a great tool. It's definitely our biggest asset, for sure. So,
and I recommend everyone join. There should be no stigmas with the idea of mental health, and no matter if you have issues that you think you need to or want to work on, or know family members, or just want to learn more how you can help out others, that's why you should join a Discord like Project Guardian, so that you can have those resources.
Yeah, it's about having a safe place, right? And it doesn't matter necessarily what you're going through or whatever. I mean, even if you're just looking for a space that you know is safe to speak your mind and know that you're going to be free of judgment. It's a zero tolerance server, so there's no harassing, bullying, or judgment, and privacy is absolutely our number one priority at all times. And we're pretty easygoing, except for those things. Like we don't bend. The rules aren't changed for anybody, and that's just kind of the way it is, So it's an amazing place, and you can connect with other people in the community. You can find people to play with. I mean, it's not necessarily an LFG. I mean, it's kind of there for a purpose, but we do have those channels set up, and it's always open. So, and there's links everywhere. There's you can just go on Project Guardians at Twitter, and I think it's pinned right to the top, along with all of each individual names. Are there, and all our DMs are always open. So,
yeah, well, we'll definitely, of course, have a link in the podcast show notes, and have multiple ways. We're also going to list it in our Discord coming up, just as a resource for people.
Yep.
And you're in so many Discords too. Like you're in ours, you're in other Discords. You're a great resource for people. You come in, you're like, hey, how's everyone doing? And yeah, people need to know that. Put the name to the group. They may not understand that you're with that project. So I think it's good that we're bringing you on so people know that.
Chris, I'm pretty sure also you tagged me in every single Discord one day that we were tagged to.
I seem to remember that.
Yeah, I trolled you a little bit. Today, I joined another one today, so I think we broke 70 today. Or I broke 70 today.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
And I don't mute any of those. So anybody who's listening, who's in any server, if you ever need us, and that's why I don't mute them, is I've gotten very good at speed reading. But if you tag me, or anybody from the project, will come into that server, will help you, will help whoever needs help, and help facilitate, get them to our server. So it will help with a crisis, but obviously we're not a replacement for therapy. We're not a replacement for necessarily a crisis, prevention line. I mean, if the best thing to do is, if you're in crisis, is use one of those hotlines out there. There's a ton of them. The easiest one is 741-741. You can text that. You can call it. They're great. But anybody ever needs anything, you at me, I'm there. So, or just, hit me on Discord privately too. So,
we appreciate that for sure. You also have your podcast. Tell us a little bit about the Saint 14 Project. Is that the name of it?
Yep, that's still Saint 14 Project, and that's really Joe and Average Joe and Sentinel Dad, Hatchy Dave, and Goku. That's like their main thing. I just fill in when they need me to, but they're really great. I mean, if I ever have a topic I want to discuss, they'll always put it in there, or if I want to recommend somebody, or they always, take that into consideration.
And the podcast is obviously about kind of like bringing in mental health topics, right? Along with maybe video like game talk.
Yeah, so I think the way they just describe it on the, if you go to the website, projectguardians.org, all the information's there, but it's like a fusion between gaming and mental health. There's typically a topic, could be anything, say anxiety or something. They'll discuss that briefly, and then usually that's tied to what they call a character analysis, and that's what Dr. Goku does. He takes whatever guest they're having picks a character from a game or a movie or something, and they do a breakdown of I think last week might have been Handsome Jack, from Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
So they talk about like egomania and all that. So, it break that character down and kind of discuss what issues they may have going on or what the message is tied to. A lot of games have messages through the characters, but we don't always pick up on it. So sometimes it's pretty amazing because he really, when I say he does homework, like he does serious research on this stuff and goes way, way back really deep into the characters' stories, gathers information from all different sources, and then tries to tie all that together with whatever they're talking about. It's really amazing. Super interesting. So, and then it's usually like gaming news and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Anything else about Project Guardians coming up that you can talk about, or any fun things coming up, or we just have to stay tuned for that?
Yeah, there's a lot of really big things coming.
So I know you guys have had like charity streams in the past or things like that.
Yeah, so we do events every year, in which I think you've made every single one except for the last.
Yeah, I think all but the last one, really.
Yeah, and usually I end up playing. It's usually just me and Sin playing Destiny. I think every single one so far, but
yeah, I'm ready for the next one too. I even asked you about it the one day.
Yeah. So we're kind of planning it, so that kind of ties into a bunch of stuff. So we had a lot of plans, and things changed a little bit. We had to kind of change the direction of what was going on in order to accomplish our next goal. Joe and the guys had a vision of where they wanted to take the project, and all I can say is it's going to be really big. Super proud. We've been pouring a lot of time and personal resources into it, and when it all comes together, I think people are going to be really excited about it, and it's going to open up a lot of doors for us. But that should all be coming, I would say, the end of August. So definitely stay tuned to the socials and see what happens. So
yeah, for sure we will.
Sounds amazing to me. I'll be there.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if you had any other questions, Sin, about Project Guardians, or we can go into some Destiny talk for the week.
We can move it on to Destiny. I'm sure we're going to get some of the contact stuff here at the end, which is super important too.
Yep. Oh, we will. Mm-hmm. We will.
Yep.
Well, I had a question. We can just kind of keep it easy this week. What do you like about the game Destiny, Chris, since you're the guest? I mean, what have you had fun in it?
I've always enjoyed the game, but I mean, it definitely had moments of being stale. But to me, it's always been about community, people coming together. So to me, that will always be what Destiny is for me.
I agree. On that point, and when I don't know what your thoughts are when Dee said the thing about the friend game. So many people were upset about that, but I feel personally it really is true in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean I mean, look at the Dark Days. I mean, that's the only reason why you would have played that game for a couple months, or several months, really. I mean, there was nothing else to it. So it's really hard for me right now because I'm gotten into PC gaming a lot more, and the frames are just absolutely beautiful. And because I only have Destiny on PlayStation, which is really dragging me down right now.
So what, do you have any plans for come September? Tentative plans for Destiny?
It's kind of funny. Like I had almost thrown in the towel at one point, and I was just going to say, you know what, I'm going to pay the money, get it on PC, but I didn't want to invest. It's still over $100, So then they announced cross save, and I'm like, well, there you go. So I'll be able to have both, which will make me happy because I have a lot of friends still on PlayStation 4 that will be nice to be able to bounce back and forth. And, if I know there's something specifically going on PS4, I can go back. But then when I'm just kind of casually playing for an hour or so, I can jump on the PC. It's funny, once you get used to that high frame rate, and then you go back to place, like everything seems so slow. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll get this someday, you know? But
Yeah. And then you switch back and forth, and then you go back. You're playing on PS4 and you go to PC, and you're like, oh, I'm moving too fast. But then you get used to it better.
Yeah, the loading screen is just. And you know what? Like, if there's a day I can take this Elgato and just throw it out the window, I will be happy. Like, I don't care how much it costs. I just want to destroy the thing. So, PC is so much nicer. You just hit the button and go live, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, I love the game. Right now, I'm completely lost. I'm lost because
You're lost.
I'm pretty much the definition of casual gamer, you know? Because I'm invested in other games, playing other stuff. So there's so much content.
Yeah.
That because I was away or wasn't on top of it all the time, I've kind of fallen behind.
I know. They need to do a better job of they have gotten better on with the new seasons lately. They've been having those power-up quests, which has helped a lot. But then other than that, you just have to talk to friends or listen to podcasts on what's worth doing. Like, there's so many exotic weapons quests, and maybe you've heard, maybe you've not, but people are starting to say, well, maybe Lumina's not as worth getting, put that lower in your list, but Bad Juju is worth getting. And you just kind of have to hear from others. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, so here's my problem as I now kind of moving more. See, originally, even probably 6 months ago, it's probably exclusively Destiny 2. Like, I almost played nothing else, right? And now that's different. So Pinnacle weapons, all that stuff's out the window for me. I don't have the time. I'm so busy with the project, with work, personal life. I don't have the time to invest into all that stuff. So Pinnacle weapons, all that stuff is kind of out the window. So
yeah,
one of your questions, I think, was what I wish they added.
Yeah,
would be, and I could be wrong. I guess like maybe organized differently, because it's difficult for me to make sense of some of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not invested into all the little stuff, like the pursuits. Like, I'm getting so confused.
Hey, we've all gotten confused recently. We move stuff around.
Yeah, just everything. Like what order, what I should be working on, what it shouldn't be. So what's happening is I'm doing what I'm comfortable with, and I'm not accomplishing anything because I'm doing the same stuff that I've always done. But I should be going somewhere, talking to someone, picking something up. You know what I mean? Like, the pursuits is great, but it's just this giant screen of stuff, and I'm like, okay.
I totally
you know what I mean?
Get it.
Why couldn't it be like, this is this, that's that, you know?
Yeah. That screen gets overwhelming. And then, my wife used to play more, but when she's played a couple times recently, she'll just hop on the game. She's like, I don't know what to do. Just tell me. And then, like, I'll tell her, like, well, you can start working towards this. But then she might just, like, us, she'll just play some public events or strikes for like a half an hour. But then the thing is like, that's fun. That's fine. That's fun. But you're not progressing anything by just doing that. For me, being the hardcore player, I'm like, oh, you're not moving along. But like, I just need to be chill too and be like, if you're having fun in the game, it doesn't matter if you're not progressing, right? I hope Destiny can be a inclusive game that people can still have fun without feeling like, oh, I have to progress or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a lot of the stuff takes a lot. You have to invest the time. So, it's a grind. It takes X amount. And so if you're not working on, this is what I'm finding. Because, I still go in. I probably play, I don't know, at least 8 hours a week. But it's all broken up in different, a couple hours here, a couple hours there. I'm not moving. Like you said, I'm not moving forward because I lose progress on something. I had to get all these bounties done. Well, the ones I was working on are now expired, so now I got to start over. It's just stuff like that.
Well, I have good memories of going into Crucible with you, and I don't even like Crucible that much, and so that's been pretty cool. For whatever reason, I know when we've been in Crucible together, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm not by any means a PvP player, but that again, that's the perfect example. I mean, like, so when and especially like Joe comes on pretty much every night, like 10 p.m. Joe's on, right? So if I'm on, he's probably in Destiny. We'll jump in. We're talking. We'll end up playing PvP. So that's but I'm not moving forward on any of the other stuff because we're just kind of chatting and playing PvP, So I'll get in half a dozen matches or something and have fun doing it, but not really progressing.
Yeah.
Just, like right now, I'm locked out of the Menagerie. I got in once. I went through it once. Now
we'll figure it out if you want some time. I know we've tried some raids before, and then some of the people in the group wasn't able to get us to completion, but I've always had fun when I've run with you. So
yeah. I mean, Last Wish is the last one, and that's still not even completed. I've made it to the end, but I haven't done any of the.
Yeah, we got. How far did we get when we were running that? I forget.
I can't remember.
Halfway-ish or something like that.
Yeah, that particular day was terrible too.
I just feel like a lot of the people in our group weren't listening to instructions, so we could have.
I didn't know any of them besides
I didn't know any of them,
and
hardly.
Austin's the one that invited me. I think Austin did it, but and I was like, I almost felt bad. I'm like, this is
yeah, that can happen when you just have random people come in.
Yeah,
and it brings up an interesting point I've had too. I've raided with a lot of people, so you often have groups of 6 and sometimes people you don't know. I have strong opinions on being chill in the game and being positive. I mean, how do you think other Guardians, other people can just help each other out in the game? Do you think it's a chill attitude? Do you think it's lifting each other up, or is it more just like making sure you're not, putting others down? I mean, it should be obvious, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I think Destiny, what attracts me to it for the most part, I would say it's 90% positive. Most of the time, like the people you run into that tend to be positive, good people, good natured, which is what attracts me to the game to begin with. But I mean, you always have that element of, like we're talking about, a couple bad seeds in the fire team, and that's it. But yeah, just being courteous to other people and helping each other is always, it's like anything in life. That's how you're going to move forward, and that's how you're all going to accomplish what you want to at the end of the day. So.
Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but it's almost like a small form of service when you help others out in the game. You may have already done something before, and to me, when I do raids, it's partly selfish too because I enjoy it so much. But even helping other people with other PvE activities, maybe like, I've already been Shattered Throne a bunch of times, but I know that I may want help from someone in the future, so I just try to look at it as like paying it forward or something.
Mm-hmm. As Sin, I think you got me through the layers. I think we ran them all in one night.
Yeah. The raid layers, or
yeah.
Definitely Eater Worlds. Definitely not Spire.
No, not
we don't
Spire.
like
Spire. You know what? I made it to the end of that one, and I never finished it. And I didn't care. I was like, yeah, I'm really all set with this. Like, I didn't enjoy that one.
The only good reason to do it would be for the catalyst.
Now, I don't have any catalyst. Like, apparently, if the only RNG I have is really bad, I don't get drops of anything. Like, I have nothing. I have no catalyst at all. I don't think I have one. Maybe one.
I've got a few.
Probably for a gun I don't use.
Too. There's so many of them. They're really hard to keep up with, honestly. And that just makes it difficult, especially if you're trying to level all of them up. And I missed out originally when the Graviton Lance was in the first year of Destiny during the faction rallies, which we haven't seen come back in a long time. But now the Graviton Lance is dropping in Crucible.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one to have back then.
Yeah.
I would say the one thing that's really driving me absolutely batty is that my Guardian looks like a hot mess because I can't establish enough gear all to match to have them
all mismatched.
Yeah, like to me, Destiny's always been, like Mark Square would say, it's the fashion show. Me and Mark would be playing. He's like, "Oh, I'm out of glitter." I'm like, "Dude, how are you out of glitter?" And he's like, "Oh, I spent it all in shaders. Putting it when he had to pay to put shaders on." So, like my Guardian was always dressed to the T, and I was like proud of that. That was like part of my, in like faction wars you're talking about. I had, I grinded those out back then. I loved my Dead Orbit and Future War Cult. They were all decked out, shaders I wanted. Now I look at my character, I'm like, ugh, he's ugly.
Well, it makes sense, especially leveling up. No matter if you play a lot like me and Sin, or you don't play as much, it's like when you're first leveling up, you just gotta wear the armor that has the highest power level and the perks you want. So you will be mismatched, looking pretty ugly. And then even when you do get later on in the game, you can fuse stuff, have the materials for it. You may have a set that you like how it looks, but it still may not have the exact end game perks that you want. Right. And at least we've heard, it sounds like that's probably getting better with Shadowkeep, with Armor Mods 2.0. It sounds like you can do, we don't know all the details, but some kind of like, quote, transmogrification thing, like how other games do, where you can have armor that you like how it looks, but use the perks from your other armor that you don't like how it looks.
Right.
And hopefully it won't be too expensive to do all that.
Well, I don't even have materials like for what I need to, again, because I'm not grinding out these master cores, all the different bounties or however you are getting them these days. I don't even have the material that, even if I got to 750, like I wouldn't be able to infuse all of one set. Like I probably have all the pieces that I want, but I don't have the material to get them all up to where I need to be. So
yeah, it does all come down to playing the game, and you don't have to play it like hobbyist level to do enough things to have somewhat fun. But yeah, if you're just hopping in like once every couple weeks for like an hour max, then I could see it being pretty impossible to do hardly anything other than just the basic missions, strikes, stuff like that.
Yeah, which, like I said, it's very odd for me because prior to a few months back, I was Destiny 2 only. It's all I played. I didn't play anything, But now I've been just working on so many other games. Jesus, I forgot there's a whole nother world out there.
Definitely hard to keep up with.
Yeah. And things have gotten better. Well, more people are back in the game right now. It was kind of like the days of Black Armory and the Drifter. What was the name of that one? All the season after Black Armory.
Season of the Drifter?
Season of the Drifter, sure. And all those, they were all right. They weren't horrible, but they weren't like excellent either. And a lot of people kind of fell away then.
I didn't enjoy the Forges. Actually, I think Sin, me, and you in November opened the first one. That's how I got the first, and I think that's as far as I got.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any further. I don't even know where to go to find the other ones.
Yeah, I didn't really grind for them until late, and there was just no motivation there. And then after not spending a lot of time, the motivation for me was just trying to go back and get some triumphs for titles. Right. Because I decided I was like, I actually kind of like these. And I was, I kind of initially wanted to kind of grind them all out, but it's really just too much for my schedule. And I wanted to try to collect all those little pins that they give you for completing the seals, but I'm happy that I've made it as far as I have, honestly, with the time that I've been able to spend and invest in the game.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. I need to figure out. I need to take all the information and say, all right, if I just focus on this little part, this will get me an armor set that I'm happy with, and maybe a weapon or two. You know what I mean? I wish it was broken down in that sense. Here's this.
Yeah, you just project. Have to continue to ask us, and we'll give you all the deets.
Yeah. So, and it's
we'll lead you astray.
Yeah. But my problem is, most of I sit down at my desk with absolutely every intention of gaming or something, I get involved in a conversation, like we were talking, I'm in 70 Discord. I end up talking to somebody or helping somebody or working on graphics or something. Like I get distracted, squirrel goes by the window and next thing I know, it's 3 hours later and my gaming time has turned into several conversations, maybe making some stuff for upcoming streams or whatever, and then bed, So.
Yeah. No, that's okay. And we certainly wouldn't want to pull you away from all the excellent help you've given with Project Guardians and helping other people out.
It's really become like, it's my passion. It's amazing, and it's changed my life. So it's inspired me to make a lot of different changes. So Destiny, in a sense, all of this stems from Destiny, which is why I say it'll always mean community to me. I know I'm kind of backtracking a little bit, but I guess that's really, now that I'm thinking about it, that's the definition. It's inspired me to make a lot of changes, like quit smoking, which I'll tell you that is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, congrats.
2 packs a day to nothing, cold turkey.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Cold turkey even?
Yeah, just stopped with nothing.
Nice. Congratulations on that.
Yeah. I've always been lucky. I've been able to pick things up and put them down, but that's the one that almost broke me. Like it put me into a tailspin. Luckily, I have things like the project, and super supportive wife, and really cool son that gets it. It like really threw me for a loop, like like sense of fear and stuff from the withdrawals of the nicotine, because I was using the nicotine to satisfy my anxiety and all that, and it screwed me up. I actually had to take some time off work, and really hunker down to get through it. So when people say it's hard, I definitely do not disagree. Agree 100%. But yeah, if it wasn't for like our Discord and all these other people interacting with these people and them inspiring me by their stories, their triumphs that they're going through every day, I wouldn't have had the strength or even the motivation to do something like quit smoking, cutting down on my drinking, more actively working on my own well-being, because I've always helped other people and always put myself, kind of behind, but by learning and talking to them, the best way to help other people is to help yourself first. So,
yeah.
And people will come to us about quitting smoking and stuff. Well, can't be hypocritical.
And you've done it, and you can tell them how you were able to overcome it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that goes back to my son, too. Because he's trying to fit in growing up through the years. I'm always telling, well, you shouldn't be doing that. And I said to myself, well, what right do I have to tell him that if I'm doing it myself? So I changed the way I was thinking about things. I think everybody around me has noticed. It's helped all the way around. So
good. There was a saying I thought of when you said you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of somebody else, really.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey for financial. He does a lot with financial and being financially free and debt free.
Yeah.
And he says, I think he says it best, and just kind of change the words a little bit. But taking care of yourself, you can live and give like no one else.
Right. Yeah. Dr. Goku all the time. I wish I had a nickel for every time he says this, but he uses the example of, if you've ever been on an airplane, because it's in the speech, they tell you something happens or we lose cabin pressure, to put the mask on yourself first before helping the one next to you. And that's because if you can't breathe, then you can't help the next person. So you need to, secure your own safety and help the person next to you, whether it's a child or, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. You got to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
When you think about it in that sense, it does make sense, I guess. We were just actually talking a lot about that. And now that I'm thinking about it, one thing, we do a Let's Talk stream on the off week of the podcast, and it's been amazing fun. So we just had Sid Nino Chicken Fingers. Chris, we had him on this Friday.
Been a long time since I've heard that name.
Yeah,
Chicken.
Great dude.
Yes.
Very, very solid dude. And he's been working on himself. He took about a year. He's been doing it for about a year now. And actually, yeah, I think 19th was his anniversary. And he credits a lot of it to some of it, well, not a lot of it, but he credits some of it to us. And he's super supportive, very appreciative, and just a great guy. But he was on, and he was talking about a couple of books that he used to inspire him to, or motivate him to changing and turning his life around. And he looks good. He's lost a ton of weight. He's in shape. His mind is sharp and crisp. He's focused on his tasks. He's just doing an amazing job. And we had an absolute blast. We're super proud of the Let's Talk streams. And it's on the Project Guardians Twitch channel. It's on the Friday opposite of the podcast. So, and we try to keep them just to an hour. But if you ever miss them, they're on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel, and they're really cool. People are loving the format because it's like an open roundtable discussion. And so with the chat, really, it's all designed about getting the chat involved and getting their questions and trying to answer them with whatever guest is on, whatever professionals are there. So it's really cool. I should have mentioned that earlier. I didn't mean to screw up your Destiny.
No,
by all means, it's awesome.
We go with the flow here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just have like potential things we want to talk about, but we don't care how it ends up. Yeah.
No, that's
it's in the words of Bob Ross, they're happy little accidents.
Yeah, right. Dude, do you see Bob Ross on Twitch? That guy
Bob Ross
killing it.
There's an actual Bob Ross streamer.
Wait, tell me about that.
Yeah. Bob Ross has his own Twitch channel, and every time he's pulling in 3,000-4,000 viewers every single stream. Whoever's running that channel,
And is it just showing his videos kind of like on Netflix, the same thing?
It's the show from when I was a kid. When I grew up, every morning I got up, Bob Ross was on channel 2. Like that's what I watched.
My dad used to watch.
I'm older, yeah. So
yeah,
that was a thing. So, and it's so funny because I'm watching it. I'm like, all right, he's gonna put a tree in there, and all of a sudden, this tree pops out, or
let's
a
put
cabin
in a
or something.
Happy little tree.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna move the blade.
The guy he was an absolute rock star. So he's still killing it on Twitch.
My wife likes to fall asleep to his shows on Netflix.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
She's got that soothing voice, non-threatening, just kind of relax. It's I every time I see it, and then when I click on it, I'm like, oh, I'm getting sucked in. Oh yeah, I do. I lose 2 hours to sitting here staring at Bob Ross. I'm like, oh my god! I came in here to get something done, like I was talking earlier. Just something always happens. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, yeah, we don't have too much other things to talk about Destiny this week. I mean, I don't know, Sin, if you want to talk about any of the raids we did. I know we.
All I know is it took you 4 hours for the first one.
3. It took
maybe
3.
3. Fine, 3.
No, we had fun doing. We had a couple raids scheduled back to back. This was last night. Now at this point, we're recording on a Sunday night, and so Saturday night, and some new people in our Discord, and some other people that hadn't run Last Wish yet, and so
some
I think
first timers, right?
Really well, yeah, really well. One technical first timer, another person who had only passed it like once or so, and then. So I'd say about half not great familiarity and the other half had familiarity. So I think we did well for it taking 3 hours. Because that raid is normally 1 if you know it really well, and 2 on average, and 3 if you don't know it well, and even longer if people just give up,
Right.
So we had fun with that, and then you came in, right? You helped us with another one.
For a callous checkpoint.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
I always loved that gun in Destiny 1, the Bad Juju.
Yeah, the Bad Juju?
I don't even think I can get it. I don't even think I can get it. I would have to go back and do a bunch of stuff, I think.
Do you happen to know, I don't know if you have the app open, no worries if you don't, but do you happen to know approximately how many legendary shards you might have? Because you used to play a lot in the day, so you could have
use a lot. I maybe have 600 or something. I don't have.
Okay. That's not bad. So there are ways, if you want to get the Bad Juju, you have to get 18 tributes in this new thing called the Tribute Hall. And you can get some by doing little triumphs, little quests. That can take some time, or you can buy a bunch. Buying them are fairly expensive. They take a fair amount of glimmer and a fair amount of materials. Some will be like, data lettuce, as we like to call it, or not berry and bow, but the different, because that one's not used for anything. I think Sin's first started calling it data lettuce, but I like that term.
Yeah.
But you can, Spider has this little market where you can buy different exchanges.
Yeah.
If you track the times where there are times where he sells most everything for legendary shards. So with 600 legendary shards, you could max out your glimmer very easily for pretty cheap, and you could get a bunch of materials, and then you could almost guaranteed to get most of those tributes done, so you could get your Bad Juju going. So I think it is possible. It was hard to say until we all kind of sat down and looked at it, but it is possible. But it's a fun gun. I like it a lot.
I loved it in T1, so I was happy. The one gun I really wish they'd bring back, because I'm a terrible first-person shooter. I don't know why that's all I play, because I'm terrible at it. But I miss my supercell, because I'm an auto rifle guy.
Yep.
I just want to hold the trigger and just aim everywhere, So,
that was the first exotic I got in D1.
I love that
too, and it was fun.
I'd be so happy if they brought that back.
But do you think they will? Because the SMG Risk Runner is pretty similar, they say. So, except short range and annoying. I'd rather Zalo Supercell also.
Well, in Thunderlord is kind of the same idea too, I guess. But
Zalo also gave you your super energy back, so that was kind of cool too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hope you bring it back myself. I agree with you.
Yeah, and that question always gets asked on like podcasts all the time. Hey, what gun would you bring back? Nobody ever says that gun, ever. And I'm like, they forgot about my gun. Nobody likes it. So I'm like, maybe I'm the odd one out.
And I liked Necrochasm. That was a fun auto rifle too.
Yeah, the one I always used. D1 was the one you got from Dead Orbit. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I was more.
I've always pledged to Dead Orbit for the Faction Wars. I personally miss the Faction Wars.
What do you usually pledge, Sin?
I always was Dead Orbit, but I kind of spread the love over year one.
Well, yeah, they kind of made it that way, right?
Yeah, there was reasons too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I liked how the New Monarchy gear looked the best in the shaders. But then
I think they made the Dead Orbit gear look like kind of crappy the second time around on purpose, like so nobody would want it. But I still have like that whole first, like I have all those sets still in my vault, which I should probably just go through and break everything down, and I should just clean it out. That would give me probably another 300 shards or something. It's full, like to the brim.
Yeah, that could give you some more shards, and that'd be helpful. But hey, just play the game how you like and have fun. And if we see you on, we'll play with you, or if other people, if you see Chris on, he's a great guy to play with. So he's in our Discord. He's all around. He's everywhere. You'll find him everywhere.
I just got to stay up late enough, I think, to raid with you, Sin, right? I mean, you're like,
Well, yeah, Sin works
Yeah.
late now, and I'm Mountain Time, so it's harder for me to rate earlier. Although sometimes
Yeah.
I can.
well, you're like
But-
the 11 o'clock guy, right?
10:30, 11 Eastern is usually my go time.
Yeah.
But most Saturdays we can get something. Well, I know Sin still works on Saturdays, but like at least I can get something going like on an afternoon or an early.
A little earlier, at least.
Yeah, we'll find some time. We'll make something work.
Yeah. You know what it is? Like sometimes with the raids, I'm like, it can get stressful. Like, so if you don't if it's not like a main core of, group of friends that you really want to spend that time with, like it chews up a lot of time, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, whatever. Like there's so much other stuff you can be doing and interacting with other people, or because if you're in a raid, you don't want people in your party chat. Like that's the part, of the raiding part I don't like, I guess.
That is very true. Yeah. So again, it kind of comes back to there's very valid arguments why, and a lot of people, what was it like when I looked up 10% of Destiny players have attempted raiding or something like that, or completed a raid. I forget what the actual stat is. And I find that understandable, but also sad because like if you can find a good group of chill people to play with, it can be quite a friendly, cooperative experience. You can make great friends from that.
Better at it. I think prior to this, like it was kind of geared towards the high percenters, the streamers and that sort of thing. Which, that was going around for a while too. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's hard for a casual gamer to get through. Like for me right now, like to say I have, I would literally have to schedule that.
Yeah.
So as a casual gamer, you're never going to get a raid done.
Yeah.
Even the layers, until they're all figured out and you get somebody who's mastered them, like even, once somebody's good at it, I think we ran through it in 45 minutes, but that was because we're with a bunch of people that knew exactly what to do and they're only carrying me. So it didn't really matter if I'm screwing up. But that was so short that, it could just blow right through it.
Yeah, they're shorter, but not necessarily easier at first. The latest raid is a rare or a layer length, but we're still kind of getting to the point where it's not super easy yet.
Right. Some type of mechanical involved, or
and high power level, so you don't die.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, we'll get things going. We love having you in the community. We love having you as a resource. We have a fun bonus question for you. What is your favorite dessert?
Dessert. So the Italian in me would say tiramisu.
Yes.
That's excellent.
I probably would stick with that.
That's fine.
That chocolate mousse too. I'm a sucker for that. But or flowers, dude. I could go on flowers, chocolate cake.
Mm-hmm. There's lots. Yeah, I know it's a fun topic. We could go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. So, and I love to cook. Like I'm a huge foodie.
Well, we'll have to get together sometime if we're ever in the area, and we'll have a tiramisu party.
There you go. That's definitely one of the bad side effects to not smoking. Is I put on some weight, so I got to figure out how I'm gonna fix that because I guess it slows down your metabolism or something. But
more exercise, gym or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something.
I say that, but I am not motivated myself to go and do that.
I know
either. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Because I work physically at work, but I guess it's not the right physical. I'm beat, dude. Like I'm a carpenter, so the last thing I want to do is go to a gym or something after work or whatever. But I've been trying to do. Yeah, I'm hoping once the puppy heals up, because she just had surgery. So once she heals, like I had before she got the surgery, we were working on her leash training stuff, and so hopefully we'll be doing more walks, fun stuff with her. So kind of looking forward to that as like kind of a an exercise thing.
Taking the dogs for a walk is nice. That's something that I'm always willing to do, even though I don't like getting out as much.
Yeah.
Go to the dog park, take them around the neighborhood. Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah.
We all have dogs, so we understand what that's like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you sound a little more like not so sure about it.
My dog likes to run out the front door when one of the kiddos open it.
Oh, yeah.
And then he doesn't want to come back for 30 minutes. He just wants to go and run and play.
What kind of dog?
It's supposed to be a husky collie mix, but I don't really see either of that in him.
Yeah.
It looks more of like a retriever in the snout almost.
Yeah, but a working dog, right? High energy, motivated.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
High energy for sure.
This is our third English bulldog. So we love the bully breeds, and actually we're going to be enrolling her, and she's going to be a service dog. So
that's
super cool. Excellent.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So like down the road, if you see me at a convention or anything, I'm going to try to roll that into kind of the project type thing. Plus, my wife works in hospice, so the plan would be to get her certified and stuff, and that'll be like another activity we can do with her, take her to local nursing homes to visit with, the elderly and stuff, because that's a huge motivator for people. Sometimes just seeing a dog can make their day and help them heal or get through whatever they're getting through, So that's our plan. But
that'd be nice.
Yeah, she'll probably go to work with my wife every day too, so she won't be home alone, which would be awesome.
Well, all right. We have a couple of news items in our housekeeping outro section, but before we go there, I don't know if we have any other questions for Chris or anything else you wanted to add. Again, it's been a pleasure having you on tonight.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot. We got the main thing was just covering the Project Guardians, the podcast. And
and we'll
for the community.
We'll get all your. We'll have you go through all the links and stuff again at the end. But if you have anything else for.
No, I wish, like I said, the events are usually we have like our whole year, like our kind of a roadmap done. But because of the other stuff we're doing, we just don't have that done. So I don't know yet. So
no worries on that. We'll. We of course will post that info when we find out in our Discord also.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll keep that going. Or you're always welcome to. Also, you know, whatever you write in our Discord is welcome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know. I wish I could get into them all more. I to like make a mental note, like because there's so many. Like I'm like, all right, I haven't been in this one and that one for a while. At least say a few words, kind of putz around. Yours, I generally try to hit on a regular basis. I love the new one. There's always some great Destiny talk going on and stuff like that.
Yeah. And we actually have a few things to talk about, a couple new Destiny podcasts. First, this week, though, Sin, we don't have any new iTunes reviews. So, as always, we love you listeners. If you post an iTunes review, we will read it on air, and that helps us get found. But we do have an announcement for our Discord. We have 2 new ambassadors in the Discord, and we have Arm the Sharks on the PS4 side and Freddy Go Boom on the Xbox side. And great members in our Discord and our community that have been great in getting people to know about the Guardian Hub and join the clan and join the Discord. So we congratulate them and happy to have them as the new ambassador role.
Arm the Sharks on the emote bandwagon.
Yes, already added some to the Discord.
I think I saw him with something to do with one of the sparrows. It's like a shock one or something.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yeah, we were having a discussion about that. He needs to get that shark sparrow.
That's only fitting.
That's his name, yeah.
He's like, he sent an image. It's like a Gia. I'm like, I think my eyes are going because I don't see it change colors, but
it's very subtle. I remember that discussion. It only changes for like a second or two, and it's very subtle. Yeah. I found out also, as far as news this week, that there are 2 new Destiny podcasts I didn't know about. Let me pull up the list here.
And
While
actually,
you're pulling that up,
I have one to add to that also.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Sen, while I pull that up.
I don't know if Chris and I are thinking the same thing, but a huge, huge love and shout out to AKA Gear Dad. We will miss Anti-Meta, as he just announced this past week that they are going to be leaving the podcasting scene. So
we're sad about that. That's one that
is
ending for now. But boy, go back and listen to theirs.
That was a big deal for me for him to cancel that one. So his podcast meant a lot to me. It was the first podcast I ever listened to, and they were kind of one of the ones that helped facilitate getting me into the community and stuff. Like, I think I was in their Discord before Saint 14, and I was scheduled to be on in September with Jay, and he sent me a message. He's like, "Dude, I'm really sorry, but I'm shutting down." I'm like, oh, no big deal. But inside, I'm like, oh, it was like that was going to be like a sense of accomplishment, I guess, was making it, kind of listening to that podcast for the first time and then being on it would have been huge for me. But big shout out to Jay. I love Jay to death. Such a good person.
He is a good dude.
You got to do what's right for you. Like I said to him, I go, you're not doing anything wrong. You're putting yourself, your family, and you're putting what's important first, which is yourself and your family. So,
and we had him as a previous guest on this podcast. So, for those who haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen. That is episode, pulling it up right now, episode 8.
The one I was going to add to the list kind of has something to do with that, but not quite.
Well, here at the Guardian Hub, we like to promote other Destiny-based podcasts, community members, community artists, Twitch streamers, all of the above. And so that's why I like keeping a list of all our known Destiny community podcasts out there, even if they only talk about Destiny a little bit. So 2 that I found out recently is Destiny Digest. That's actually done by Danfinity and Company. It's a daily short form news podcast for the game of Destiny.
I did see that come out recently.
Yeah, every weekday at 3 p.m. And it has Danfinity. It has, looks like it's Journeyed Music Lover, but it's spelled GRNEYEDMUSIKLVR. And Aerocast. Green-Eyed. Thank you, Sen, for correcting me. I wasn't sure on that one.
She's part of Focus Fire Chat also.
That was the one that laid her head on Gunbait during the con. He was telling the story about how Green-Eyed Music Lover.
Yes, I don't know why I didn't think of the word green from that. GRNEY.
She's awesome too, man. She's a cool cat.
I already listened to one of their episodes. It's that's pretty gutsy to do a daily show. And even though it's only they're a couple minutes long, they're pretty short, but they put some production into it. You could tell. So that's a pretty awesome project that they're doing.
Yeah, they live and breathe Destiny. Those, especially Green. Like, she's awesome.
So that one's only been going for about a week. Yeah. As far as I can tell. And then the other new one's called Guardian Downcast. And they only have 1 episode so far as of when we're recording this tonight. And their description says, "Welcome to the Guardian Downcast, the podcast for everything in the Destiny universe and beyond. Gator, Hazel, and Easy are your hosts, and we'll discuss news and info in Destiny and the gaming industry as well. We each have handpicked segments of the show that we have a passion for in Destiny, and we'll also interview community members." So listen to that one too if you guys want, and I'll put that in the list also.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had that on there. That's the one I was going to add.
Okay, yeah.
Which I'm really looking forward to. So they started that because they're part of that group that kind of lost Distinguished Gentlemen. And then Anti-Meta was like the last straw. Like, there's a really big group of, people that was, tuned into those 2 shows. So they're part of that community. They're kind of trying to pick up the torch and run with it.
Got it. Yeah. No, that's great. We can never have too many. It's kind of funny, like when you look through the list, like, oh, there's actually that many Destiny podcasts either talk about it a lot or a little bit. But yeah, I think that's great having all this in the community.
I expect some serious shenanigans coming out of that one.
Oh yeah, excited to listen to that one. I just found out about it a little before the show, so I have that on my list to listen to.
Yeah, they were actually the Discord I added today that I was saying put me well over 70.
Number 70, yeah. Or 70-ish.
Yeah, so they're up at the top. So right now, but yeah, they're funny guys. It should be good. Those are both great shows.
Yeah. Well, great. That gives up on that. That gives all that news. Chris, where can people get a hold of you or the links and just tell us, the name of the Twitter, the name of the podcast again, everything, just so we can recap.
Yeah, Twitter's probably the easiest. I mean, I generally don't try to promote myself, but you can get a hold of me on Twitter. It's just at Chris3711 _ for that. It's also attached to the Project Guardians Twitter, which is just at Project Guardians. And if you look right at the top, underneath the banner is all of our names and how to get a hold of everybody in the project. And then anywhere in Discord, I mean, just find a server, type my name, more than likely I'll come up.
And he means anywhere, especially if it's Destiny or gaming or something like that.
Yeah, that's about all I do. As far as like social media, and then I do have a Twitch channel. It's just Chris3711 at Twitch and YouTube, but I haven't been doing too much. I've fallen way behind on that stuff. But the project, the really important ones, is projectguardians.org is the website that has a link to absolutely everything. You can find the podcast. You can find all of us. You can actually click on team members. You can see a picture of us, what we do, and that sort of thing. You can get you can enter the Discord through the website and the YouTube, which is cool because like the Let's Talk streams I was talking about and the podcast, those are all recorded live, and then they're uploaded to YouTube after. And so if you want to see the actual stream, you can go and watch those. The Let's Talk streams are only available on YouTube if you don't catch them live. The podcast you can find, I think it's on every one. Google, iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. I don't think there's a platform it's not on. And that's just Saint 14 Project Podcast. But like I said, the easiest way to do it is through the website. And the Let's Talk streams are awesome. People are they're doing really well on YouTube. So definitely suggest checking those out.
Yeah. Everyone, please check that out. I love the name Project Guardians. Easy to remember.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Sin, where can people find you? He's dead. You can't find him anymore.
You can find
nowhere.
Cherry Red from the Sun at twitch.tv/Sin Media and on Twitter at Sin_media. Kingsley, take us out.
All right. People can find me as Kingsley Mac on PlayStation and on PC. And on Twitch and on Twitter, you can find me as MC Kingsley. You can find our show either through the website at theguardianhub.com or on Twitter as The Guardian Hub. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It was a pleasure having Chris on tonight. Everyone, please check out those links and have a good week. Goodbye.
Cheers. Good night. Thank you.